The following clip was recorded by Rosanna, who's now living away from her home after everything she's endured, the sleepless nights, the haunting noises, the unexplained bruises, and now she's updating those who think she's giving up too soon. She says people see only snippets of what she's faced, but if they lived even one night in that house, they'd understand why she had to leave. Watch this. It started with the toys, then the worst happened when she caught a shadow, a male figure, standing behind her. Many believe this is the same entity that's been tormenting her since the beginning. Others think it's something new. It's easy for people to call her story fake or staged, but only those who've truly brushed against the unknown, those who've seen their world twist into something unrecognizable, can understand the terror she describes. The endless fear, the hollow exhaustion, the frustration of trying to explain what's happening and being met with disbelief. It's a slow kind of madness, one that breaks people piece by piece. You might remember one of her earlier videos, the one where the toilet seat was slamming up and down violently. That clip drew all sorts of reactions. Some claimed it was staged, others went as far as to say there was someone hanging from the ceiling. So this time, Rosanna decided to make another video. Despite every instinct screaming at her not to, she went back into that same bathroom, a place she hadn't stepped foot in for months because of the intense fear it gave her, and she filmed again. Watch this. She received hundreds of comments after this, messages telling her don't let the house win, it feeds on your fear, and stand your ground. But really, is it that easy? This is a woman who's tried everything. Priests, mediums, cleansing rituals, yet the more she fights back, the stronger it seems to get. You can see it in her voice, her movements, her words, she's worn down. And still, she shares her story. Not for attention, but for answers. She says that though she's ready to give up the house, she hopes someone out there knows something she doesn't, a real solution. Something that could finally set her free, or at least make the house safe again for whoever owns it next. But until that happens, this is the current situation. She's heard screams before, but this one was different. You can almost feel the rush of panic through the screen, and sometimes she says she wishes she could just wake up and realize it was all a dream. But this is her reality, a home she owns, bought on credit, a place she once thought would be a sanctuary for her and her children, now a source of dread. She's separated, raising her kids on her own, and fighting a battle she can't even see. And until she finds something, anything, that truly works, not just temporary calm before the next storm, Rosanna's case remains a mystery. This next video was recorded on January 29th, 2024 by a home camera, and it captures something that left a woman absolutely stunned. That morning, she was alone at home with her baby. Everything seemed normal, quiet, calm, like any other early morning, until this happened. Watch. When the door opened, she looked up and saw her partner. He was standing there, right at the door. Confused, she asked, "Why are you home so early?" It was around 5 or 6 in the morning, and she knew his shift wouldn't end for hours. But he didn't answer. He just stood there, completely still, staring at her. She sat there for a few seconds, unsure if he was joking or angry. Then, suddenly, he turned around and began walking away, slowly, without saying a word. She got annoyed and followed after him, calling his name, but he didn't respond. He didn't even look back. When she reached the bottom of the stairs, everything changed. The entire downstairs was pitch black. No lights on, no sign of anyone, and that's when it hit her. Her husband didn't even have a key with him that morning. There was no possible way he could have walked in. Terrified, she ran to check the home security footage, and what she saw made her blood run cold. While she was downstairs, the bedroom door upstairs, the one she'd left open, slowly closed on its own. Then, moments later, it opened again. When she called her husband later that morning, he laughed nervously, saying, "Maybe I sent my doppelganger to check on you." But that joke didn't sit right with her. Some people believe what she encountered was a doppelganger, an exact copy or spirit double of a living person, often considered a sign of bad luck or an omen. Others think it was a spirit manifestation, using her husband's image to gain her trust, something intelligent that wanted to be seen. Whatever the truth is, that morning changed everything for her. So what do you think? Was it her husband's doppelganger, or something else pretending to be him? You decide. Now, in this next clip, An explorer went into an abandoned building, and according to him, this turned out to be the creepiest thing that has ever happened in his 5 years of exploring defunct and forgotten places. Watch this. Out of nowhere, faint music began playing from the hallway he just walked through minutes earlier, a hallway that had been completely silent. It sounded like a full orchestra, and for a few seconds, he stood there trying to make sense of it, convinced maybe he wasn't alone. His first thought wasn't ghosts or the paranormal, it was people. Well, he didn't wait to find out who, or what, was playing that music. He grabbed his gear and left. Later that night, when he got home and calmed down, curiosity got the best of him. He started digging into the building's history, and that's when everything suddenly made sense. Turns out, the place was one of the oldest and most haunted historic buildings in the area. He says he'll never go back there again. And after hearing the story, it's easy to understand why. But what do you think really happened that night? Was it just old building acoustics and bad wiring? Or was he caught in the middle of a performance that never truly ended? You decide. In this next clip, a woman had just moved into a new house, the kind of old property that still creaks in the corners and holds onto the faint smell of dust and rain. While unpacking and getting things set up, she went down to the basement and found a doll. It was sitting perfectly upright on one of the wooden shelves, like it had been down there for decades. She said it startled her for a moment, but it didn't feel threatening, at least not then. So she laughed it off, left it exactly where it was, and went back to her room. But that decision might have been a mistake, because a few days later this happened.
My door keeps shaking.
Now, it's easy to see why people believe the doll might be connected to whatever's happening. In the footage, you can see the basement door rattling violently, almost as if someone on the other side is trying to force their way out. But she's not ready to jump to conclusions. She wants to be sure before she does anything drastic, like getting rid of the doll. So, for now, this remains unsolved. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his exploration through one of Nebraska's most haunted locations, the Argo Hotel. The building has a long, unsettling history. Years ago, when it operated as a sanatorium, a woman named Alice reportedly died during childbirth in the basement. But that wasn't the end of her story. Locals say her cries still echo through the empty hallways late at night, soft, trembling sobs of a woman calling for her baby. With that history in mind, Ian decided to do what few others would: spend the night alone inside the Argo Hotel. At first, it was quiet, but when he entered one of the guest rooms, he immediately got the sense that something wasn't right. Watch this.
Are you standing over here? Oh my God. There is nobody in here, and I am hearing voices. And that was like the same voice from before. Is it true what they say? Is it true that you're still searching for your baby? Holy moly, you guys. It feels like I'm being followed. Like everywhere I go. That was definitely freaky. Not hearing much more. I'm definitely gonna leave cameras in here and see if anything else happens.
All the windows in that room were completely shut, and if it were a draft, the entire curtain would have moved. Instead, only one side moved, as if an unseen hand was brushing against it. Trying not to panic, Ian left the room and began exploring another when he heard a sound.
I'm almost certain it's coming from this door, room 6. This is said to be one of the most haunted rooms. If you're in there, could you make a sound through that door? See what happens if I knock on it. Anyone home? Whoa! No freaking way. Dude, that doorknob, it just freaking jiggled. Oh my God. This freaking thing, it just freaking jiggled all by itself. And there should be no one in here. Let's look.
Some say it was Alice, maybe showing her presence or warning him not to disturb her peace. Others think the hotel itself has absorbed too much of the pain and loss over the years, and now it breathes on its own. Did he really capture proof of the paranormal, or was it just the Argo Hotel reminding him that some stories never rest? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip was captured by a man who went fishing, and on his way back after he was done, he heard something that stopped him in his tracks. Watch closely.
Yo, what the? What the? Bro. There's nobody in here. Yo!
When he posted this online, the reaction was mixed. Some people ignored the mysterious voice completely and instead criticized him for walking into a women's restroom with his camera rolling. But if you look carefully, it was actually the men's bathroom. The sign is right there on the left side of the door as he enters. Now, here's why he had his camera out. He had just used that same restroom to freshen up after fishing, and he was certain no one else had entered. But only a few steps away from the building, he heard a voice echoing from inside. Knowing he'd left it empty, curiosity pulled him back, this time with his camera recording. What makes this even creepier is the local legend tied to the spot. People say a young lady was misbehaved with by a group in that very area, and tragically, she didn't survive. Some believe her spirit still lingers, trapped in that moment of terror. So, was that the cry of her spirit replaying the past, or something else entirely? You decide. In this next video, a woman named Angeli who lost her dad always believed he never truly left, that his spirit could still be felt in his house. One holiday, she and her siblings brought their kids over for a family hangout at their dad's place, spending time on the deck where they used to gather with him. One night, something happened that left them speechless. Take a look.
Off, please. All your grandkids are here. You can turn it off.
We're not scared.
Sometimes it takes them a
It's
minute
raining.
to get the energy.
We're not scared. We're not scared.
I don't know. I think that's going crazy. Jerome, do you see all your grandkids?
Well,
Make it
I've never seen it flicker.
off. Turn on, Jerome. Make it turn.
What?
Well, and it never flickers like
Jerome,
that.
can you
Look
turn
at
it
that
off
thing.
again? Show the kids that you're here with them. Turn it all the way off. No lights at all.
Do it.
Just wait. You gotta give them a couple seconds.
Yo,
to
pause
wait.
that.
Jerome, show your grandkids that you're here and turn it off.
miss this. Can you turn it on?
Dad, turn it back on, Dad.
He's
This
here.
thing is
He
listening
here.
to me, dude. Dad, turn it off. Dad, turn it off.
He will.
No way.
That's nuts, dude.
Give them a minute.
This thing never, like, it's going nuts right now.
It's kind of cold out here.
One of you guys ask them to turn it off.
Can you turn it off? Please turn it off. We're not scared. We just want to see you turn it off.
There it goes.
Can you turn it back on?
Jerome, turn it on.
Can you turn it off?
Okay,
Make
just
the video.
Jerome, can you make it go crazy? Make the lights go crazy.
Whoa! What? That's good.
Can you blink for twice if you're Jerome? It might be hard to do.
Yeah.
Go on, off, on, off.
Shut up, bro.
That's him. No, it's doing it again.
On, off, on, off. Okay, now
Yeah, I
go
told
crazy.
him.
Now go crazy. Dad.
It's him. 100%.
There it goes. Okay, now go on, off, on, off. Look at that.
Did it for a second.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it. Literally.
Tell Grandpa you guys love him right now because he's here.
I love you, Grandpa. Oh, this.
He is
It's
here.
almost like he's trying to talk through
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Jerome, do you think, I know you're out here, but do you think that
You could
you
come
could
in
turn
the
the
house?
light off in here? Could you try to turn the light off in here?
No
What is
way.
it? Or make it flicker inside the house?
Make it flicker. No way. Make it flicker.
Or maybe move a candle again.
We don't want fire.
Make it
Wait,
flicker.
no.
Wait, turn off. No, this turns off. It's in here now.
At first, Angeli thought it could all be a coincidence, until they began asking for specific things to happen, and the responses followed in ways that were far from random. But that wasn't the only strange thing during their stay. Later that week, when the kids were already asleep, this happened. The mini fridge swung open on its own, and right after, glowing orbs floated across the room. To Angeli, this felt like her dad's presence again, and honestly, this wasn't the first time. Every visit to her dad's house seemed to come with its own subtle signs. The old rocking chair on the porch, which was her dad's favorite seat, would start moving slowly by itself. Other times, family photos hanging on the wall would tilt or fall without reason, and she often smelled the faint scent of her father's favorite cologne, even though no one in the house wore it. For Angeli, it's becoming harder and harder to brush it off as coincidence, but what do you think? Was her dad really trying to reach out? Or was it all just random chance? Now, this next clip was captured by a guy just a few days before he finally made the decision to leave the house. It's one thing to deal with unrest caused by something you can see. At least that way, you know what you're up against, and maybe even how to protect yourself. But it's a whole different ballgame when the source of your fear is completely unseen, unpredictable, and impossible to prepare for. That's exactly what he says he's been living with since the day he moved in. Watch this.
Jackson is like laser ass focused on this right now. He won't, like, you alright? I know. You think something's wrong. I don't know. I hear noises, but I'm not even sure. Are you kidding me right now? There is no way that just happened. There is no way that just happened. There is no way. What's wrong with you? What's wrong? Jackson. Jackson. What's wrong? There's banging and stuff. What the fuck?
He admits that he doesn't really believe in ghosts in the traditional sense. He doesn't picture a spirit in white sheets walking around. But what he does believe is that there are strange, unexplained phenomena that science hasn't quite caught up with yet. And this clip, according to him, was the final straw. The following video is about a guy who had just purchased a new home with his girlfriend. They were still settling in and had only just started painting the living room when this happened. When this was recorded, he was heading downstairs to get ready for work, but the moment he reached the bottom step, he heard a strange creaking noise, followed by what sounded like faint footsteps in the next room. Spooked, he ran back upstairs to grab his gun, thinking maybe someone had broken into the house, but there was no one there. At first, they tried to brush it off as a one-time occurrence, but then, one night, exactly at 2:24 a.m., the basement camera captured this. Hearing voices at this hour is never good news. Some believe this could be a spirit bound to the property, perhaps a former resident unwilling to leave, but this still remains a mystery to the couples. This next clip is about a group of explorers who decided to investigate an abandoned adult foster care building. But little did they know, it would be the last time they ever set foot in a place like this. They began their investigation in the basement, where they chose to use the Estes method, a popular but eerie technique in paranormal research. For those unfamiliar, the Estes method combines sensory deprivation with live spirit box communication. One investigator, known as the receiver, wears noise-canceling headphones connected to the spirit box and is blindfolded, cutting them off from the outside world. The other, called the operator, asks questions aloud to any spirits present. Now watch closely.
She said don't go in the bathroom, right?
No, she said in the bathroom.
I'm kind of weak, I can't really...
Who's in the bathroom?
Henry. Loud.
Yeah, that was loud.
What was that?
It's right next to the bathroom.
Elena.
Elena's messing with the pipes?
Yeah.
Play.
Play what?
You.
How did you know that? Kaya, why is that scary to you though? Because I'm the one who asked the question. What do you want to play with? Oh, dude.
Hello.
Dude, I'm scared. Who's here?
Who's here? Who's in here?
Me.
I heard that and it's recording. What the?
Wait, you weren't in the bathroom?
We heard this on the wall. Swear to God.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, oh, look, were you guys back?
No.
The receiver, unable to hear the questions, simply repeats whatever they hear through the static. And the theory is that spirits can manipulate those frequencies to respond in real time. And because the receiver doesn't know the questions being asked, it minimizes the chance of bias or fakery. But in this case, what they got was more than just a strange coincidence. The next clip was recorded by a woman who lives with her family on Civil War land near the Battle of Huck's Defeat, and according to her, this ground has never really been quiet. Here's some backstory. When the land next to hers was cleared and graded, she went searching for arrowheads and quickly uncovered several artifacts. Among them, she found odd black balls, later identified as coke balls, a byproduct of an old iron forge. And sure enough, when she searched near the old forge area, she uncovered a very old button. The moment she picked it up, she claims she clearly heard a name in her mind, Roan. She felt strongly impressed that this forge had belonged to him, and that he may have once served the people of Brattonsville, where the battle itself took place. She grew so connected that she even painted a picture of him, a muscular, dark-haired man, shorter than average height. But despite all of this, she had never once heard his voice. which is why what happened on the day she recorded this video came as such a shock. Watch this. She had set up a motion-activated sprinkler to deter critters from her garden, but on this day, while working on her deck and building a trellis, the sprinkler kept going off, yet nothing was ever there. Later, when she reviewed the footage, she noticed something far stranger. A voice, and not a faint noise that could be dismissed, but a clear phrase with inflection saying, "I trust you." She was alone and no one else was near her property, yet others who reviewed the clip heard it just the same. So the question is, was this the voice of Roan finally speaking after all this time? Or could it be something else entirely, lingering on this land tied forever to its violent past? The following clip was captured by a man at work who decided to film a bird that had gotten into the shop. But instead of just catching the bird on video, he ended up recording something he never expected. Take a look. If you listen closely, you'll hear a voice saying, "Leave." Some people believe this was actually a helpful spirit trying to assist him, almost like it was warning the bird to fly back out before it got trapped. But others have a very different take. They point out that the voice doesn't sound directed at the bird at all, but at him, as if something in that shop didn't want him there and used the moment to make itself known. So was this a protective spirit lending a hand, or a territorial entity sending a warning? You decide. Now, in this next clip, a popular ghost hunter named Ian went exploring along Timberlake Road, a stretch of darkness shrouded in some of the most unsettling legends in Minnesota. Locals whisper about a grieving woman who lost her entire family and is said to wander the road at night. Others speak of phantom hounds, dark shapes with glowing eyes darting between the trees, and shadowy figures silently watching from the woods. And nearby, in a small cemetery, there are countless claims of ghostly children seen playing among the gravestones. While Ian was there, he heard a strange sound echoing from the trees, but as he tried to trace it, his camera caught something that made his blood run cold. Watch this.
So that was a freaking animal. You'd think I would see it, or something, or hear it even further, but it just went through here, and then it's just gone. Just like that. Oh, God. Hello? Is anyone out here? Was that? It just sounded like a freaking light over here. It was real faint. It was just floating around. Hello? Whoa. I think I just saw it over there now. What in the world is that? Is it like a glow bug or something? I mean, it is possible. There could be lightning bugs out here. I don't know. It looked a little different to me. It was like a different color. It wasn't like the typical color. Hello? Who's out there? There it is again. What the heck is that? I keep seeing like these weird lights out in the woods here. As you can see, there's just nothing. Hello? Are you a spirit? Watching me from the woods? Oh God. What was that? There's definitely something out there. I'm gonna try to take some pictures. Who's here with me? Whoa, what the hell is that? Oh my God. Dude, that was a straight up set of eyes staring back at me. And now there's nothing. Nothing in these photos. What the hell was that?
It's one thing to visit a place with no history and stumble across the unexplained, but when you step into a road already drowning in stories of grief, loss, and hauntings, there's no escaping the fear of what you might run into. And for Ian, what he saw that night is something he won't ever forget. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip was captured by Patricia, who works in a hospital in Florida that many believe to be haunted. She's experienced several unsettling moments, like hearing faint footsteps in empty hallways, gurneys rolling on their own, call bells ringing from rooms with no patients, and the distant sound of someone whispering her name when no one was there. Most times, she convinced herself she was just imagining it, until one day she overheard her colleagues describing the exact same strange experiences. So from that day on, they all agreed to record anything unusual. One night, Patricia caught this on camera. Watch
this. I know I've done closed this door 5 times already. Come on. Do it. You ain't gonna do it because I got the camera out. I keep closing these doors, and then every time I turn around, they're open, but I don't hear them open. I swear to God. Hey, you gonna open them? I know. Come on, open the top one. I'll start doing something. This room is creepy. I'm waiting for a watch.
Yeah.
Come on. You wanna play? I've been trying to clean this room, but every time I turn around, there's stuff that's coming out these drawers. There's nobody else in here with me.
After waiting for a while, nothing happened, until suddenly the lower drawer opened. She also noticed something strange. The room had been cold, yet she suddenly felt an intense heat, as if something invisible was standing too close. This was enough to make her believe the rumors about the hospital might be true. But why is it that so many hospitals have ghost stories? Is it because of the countless lives that have passed? Or do the long, eerie corridors and quiet, late-night shifts simply make our minds more prone to fear that we start to see things? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Now, this next clip was captured by Susie, a professional paranormal investigator whose work takes her deep into haunted locations in search of answers. Susie's fascination with the paranormal began in childhood after she saw a ghostly figure standing silently on her parents' landing. Since then, she's built a loyal online community called the Spooklet family and invites viewers to follow her into the unknown. This time, she visited a particularly creepy house, and here's what her camera recorded.
Is there anybody here with me? Any noises through there? Do you want to open that door for me? Come in. No. Am I actually watching this? Are you on cue? No. No. I'm at work. It's just that happened on cue. I don't know if I'm scared, shocked, amazed. I'm shocked. I'm amazed and I'm scared. I think I'm all three. That was pretty awesome to catch on camera, I'm not gonna lie.
When she posted the footage, like many of her other eerie videos, viewers immediately began sharing theories. Some were deeply unsettled by the fact that she said, "Come in," before the door mysteriously opened on its own, warning that this could be seen as giving direct permission for a spirit or entity to enter. Others pointed out that it's even more chilling because doors in haunted places are often said to act as thresholds. Once crossed, whatever comes in might not easily leave, and if the spirit was already lingering outside, that single phrase could have been the exact invitation it needed. We can only hope that, if anything truly entered that house, it was a friendly presence, not something dangerous. Now, in this next clip, Josh hears a strange sound from downstairs that pulls him into the living room, only for him to capture something that still has viewers talking. Watch. After searching through the entire house and finding nothing unusual, he goes back to the living room, only to meet it in complete disarray. Just in case you missed it, here's how the room looked when he first came in. The cross hanging upright, the dining area perfectly arranged, every object in its place. But when he returns, everything's changed. The cross is now upside down, the refrigerator is wide open, one of the dining chairs is on top of the table, the chandelier swings as if disturbed by unseen hands, neatly stacked cartons now lie scattered on the floor, and the most unsettling of all, a knife stands upright, precisely stabbed into the chopping board, like a silent threat. When Josh posted this clip, the real conversation began. He revealed he's been living in the house for over 6 years, but the strange activity only started about 3 years ago, right after he bought a haunted doll off eBay. At first, it was supposed to be a joke. Instead, it became an open door to something he can't control. The obvious question came next: why not get rid of the doll? Well, that's where it gets complicated. Josh believes burning it could release spirits to roam freely, and moving it might not help either, since whatever's attached could choose to stay behind. If you're wondering why he has not found a solution in 3 years, it's because, for years, the disturbances were minor, easy to ignore, but in the past few weeks, they've grown aggressive. Viewers quickly pointed out that poltergeists aren't known for turning crosses upside down, suggesting this might be the work of something darker, possibly demonic, and that the chaotic display was a warning of worse to come. Others thought they spotted movement behind the curtain, assuming someone was hiding there, but Josh explained, "There's a cat tree and chair behind the curtain. My cat likes to sit there and look out the window." That explanation made some take him more seriously, but still, no one has been able to offer a solid solution. So, what would you do in his place? And if it's not paranormal, then how do you explain what happened here? Now in this next clip, a family, already unsettled by a series of unexplainable events, decided to install cameras around their home. One night, the footage captured this. Watch closely. Now, this isn't just any bin, it's a motion sensor model designed to open only when something passes directly in front of it. But here, it lifts its lid without anyone or anything in sight. No pets, no drafts, no obvious cause. Some believe it could simply be a glitch in the sensor, while others are convinced it's something else entirely, possibly an unseen presence testing its ability to interact with the physical world. And small movements like this are sometimes said to be the first step, the entity starting small before escalating to more obvious and alarming activity. So, faulty wiring, or a ghost making itself known one step at a time. You decide. Now in this next video, Chrissy is casually recording herself in her room when something happens that absolutely terrifies her. Take a look.
Please be sure to monitor your emotional state while watching this video. Hello. Hello. About how many people are you with right now? Are you sure? Did you... Do you believe violence is ever justified? If you had to guess, how long would you say it would take to get from your front door to where you are right now? How far would you go to protect a loved one? What's your favorite color? Do you have any pets? How did your parents treat you as a child? Have you ever seen a dead body? What's your favorite color? What's 4 times 4? Do you cry at funerals? Were you happy or sad as a child? Are you happy now? Where are your...
It started with her feeling a rush of cold air, but you see, it's late fall, and none of her windows was open. You'll also notice the moon decoration wasn't moving at the beginning of the video, but as soon as she feels the cold air, it reacts too. Then, the blanket starts shifting across the bed, with no one in sight. Theories flooded the comments. Some believe it could be a classic sign of a spirit passing through, since cold spots are often reported right before physical disturbances. A few skeptics argued it could be vibrations from a hidden source, but that doesn't explain the blanket movement with no one nearby. And then there's the more unsettling idea that whatever was in her room was attached to her, but I'll let you be the judge on this one. In the following video, Gina is happily recording herself talking about her latest find and explaining just how much she loves collecting old, vintage, and spooky items, when she hears something that stops her mid-sentence.
There's something about vintage, Halloween, and Christmas decorations that I love, right? Like, it's old, it's timeless. I swear to God, I don't know what that would... Like, I don't know if you could hear that. Hold on. Like, I'm home alone right now. I have no clue what that was. Okay, so I don't know if you heard that, but it sounded like something fell. I have no clue what it was, and I'm home alone, like my daughter's sleeping. But anyways, I went to an estate sale looking for vintage Halloween and Christmas decor. Like, now I'm freaked out. Now I'm really freaked out. So I found an antique that is creepy. So the lady who was, running the estate sale was like, "Oh, are you looking for something?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking for vintage holiday decor. I love like spooky stuff, Halloween, Christmas, whatever." And she was like, "Oh, we don't have any decorations, but I do have something spooky." And I was like, "Ooh, what is it? Like, I love spooky stuff." And she shows me this. I had to have it. Like, she's so pretty, but like, it is spooky. So I asked the lady, I was like, why is she considered spooky? Like, why, like, what's the story? And she was like, "Well, she was my mom's." And this lady was like in her 50s. So I was like, okay, it's gotta be old. Because if it was her mom's, you know what I mean? It was my mom's. I just heard something again. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. It was my mom's, and just weird stuff would happen. My mom would just say weird stuff would happen in the house all the time, and I don't really want it. So I bought it. So maybe all this weird stuff happening is because I brought this girl home. But I'll keep you guys updated.
It didn't take long for people to connect the dots. If you constantly surround yourself with objects from the past, especially ones tied to unsettling histories, you might just be inviting their stories, and maybe their spirits, into your home. And the doll she was holding in this video, many are convinced it's haunted. The one question everyone kept asking was, why would she bring it home? But as they say, when your heart is drawn to something, logic doesn't always get a vote. What she posted next, however, made that love for the strange dolls a lot harder to defend. Have a look.
So that's pretty much it. Like I said, it went on for a good 5 minutes. This video itself was only 1 minute long. I was so scared. You could start to hear me kind of breathe heavily, and I eventually woke up my husband, and he looked around the house and we couldn't find anything. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I think it's pretty spooky.
At exactly 4:47 a.m., Gina hears strange knocks echoing through her home. But here's the part that sent chills down viewers' spines. Some swore they heard a soft, breathy whisper say yes immediately after Gina exhales sharply for the second time. If you can hear it too, it only deepens the mystery. If you've been following this channel for a while, then you'll know Ian, better known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter. Still inside the creepy abandoned house, many believe is haunted by the ghosts of the entire family who once lived there. It turns out the shadowy figure he saw on the stairs in our previous video wasn't the only chilling thing he encountered. Watch this.
Yes, okay. Well, I can definitely understand why. This is a lovely home. And you've lived here a long time. I understand. Is Fred... Okay, whoa. I heard that. Minnie, was that you? Did you just make a sound? It's like a tap on a wall. If that was you, could you... Okay. Oh. I heard that. That was right behind me. Thank you. Alright, Minnie, I'm hearing you all around me right now. What? What is that? Oh my god! What the hell? That's like a radio. But how? I am spooked by an old radio turning on by itself. You can actually hear the knob twisting as it is being activated. What? What? It sounds like it's changing stations. It's still on, but it's not making noise. Oh my god, the stack's coming in more. Hello? A voice just came through.
Here's what makes it so unsettling. This was the exact room where Minnie, the mother of the house, had her funeral. Her casket rested there for 3 days, and now, decades later, strange activity continues to stir in the very same spot. For more hunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video is about Dustin, who you might remember from earlier features on this channel. Lately, his life has been anything but normal. For months now, he's been dealing with things most of us only read about. Dark figures that follow him, growls in empty rooms, and whispers that call his name. One night, while working an overnight shift, he caught something that made his skin crawl. Watch.
Chug the Red Bull because I don't like it. Is that moving?
He's called in friends, religious figures, even skeptics, and nothing has offered a permanent fix. The presence follows him to work, follows him home, and sometimes it feels like it's closer than the air around him. When he reviewed the footage from that night, he said something he'd never said before. He's scared to be alone. So what's going on with Dustin? There are a few schools of thought. Some say he's been attached to by a spirit that latched on during a traumatic moment or after an encounter he can't recall. Others argue he's an empathic magnet, the type of person who unintentionally draws paranormal energy because of sensitivity, lifestyle, or unresolved trauma. A third camp insists it's pattern recognition. Go to enough strange places and weird things will happen often enough to look like a trend. And there's the harder line. Are we looking at a ghost or something darker and more capable of harm? Whatever you call it, one thing is certain. This has become Dustin's reality. He's exhausted, he's scared, and he's running out of options that don't make him look crazy. So I'll leave it to you. Would you keep working those night shifts, call in paranormal investigators, move away, or try something else entirely? And if you've been through something similar, tell us what worked for you. This next clip is about a lady who went to the hospital one evening to do some decorating for an event that was scheduled early the next morning. She expected it to be quiet, empty, and uneventful, the kind of job you finish in peace before heading home, but what she captured that night says otherwise. Watch. According to her, she had been placed in a section of the hospital where no one was supposed to be, specifically so she could work without distractions. Yet, as she began setting up, she suddenly heard the faint but unmistakable sound of a baby crying. The cry echoed down the corridor, distant but clear enough, so she immediately checked with admin staff to see if there were any child patients admitted or visitors present that evening, but their response was no. She posted the video online hoping someone could give her an explanation she could live with, perhaps an audio glitch, or maybe noise carrying from another part of the hospital. But the timing and the fact that she was isolated makes that difficult to believe. In this next clip, a man named Austin caught the most disturbing, blood-freezing disembodied voices he's ever heard, all on his home CCTV while he was asleep. Watch this.
So this has to be probably one of the most disturbing EVPs that I've ever captured. While I slept last night, I was actually falling asleep on my couch right here. And I literally heard a woman scream out my name. And from there, I started to hear laughter and what I believe to be me coming out of my body. I end up staring at these closet doors here, and they were open, staring into the darkness. And I started yelling prayers out at this thing, knowing something dark was here with me. And I woke up with the chills and proceeded to bless my place afterwards. So it's truly creepy. So what I'm about to play you here is this really insane EVP I decided to film while I was sleeping last night. And what you're going to hear here is what I just discovered happened while I was sleeping. And I'm also going to be going live tonight to see what else happens here, but it definitely validated my experience last night, in my opinion. There was truly something dark here for whatever that reason, I don't know, but here's the clip.
Waking up to that footage the next morning shook him to his core. He prayed, blessed the house, but nothing stopped it. And days later, he heard something whisper, clear as day, that his closet was a portal. That same night, while he slept, the camera caught something else. He stopped sleeping in that room, he stopped leaving things by the closet. He started examining the house history and found old rental records showing a long list of tenants who left suddenly. He saved every clip, made backups, and then did the only thing left that felt safe. He began looking for a new place. A lot of people said he was overreacting, but if you've ever had to leave a place because it felt wrong, tell us how you knew it was time. Now in this next clip, an explorer visits the abandoned old Idaho Penitentiary, a place steeped in history and tragedy. Visitors have long reported icy cold spots, disembodied whispers in empty corridors, and shadowy figures that seem to vanish the moment you focus on them. Many believe the intense suffering endured by inmates left behind something that never really moved on, a kind of spiritual imprint etched into the very walls. When this group of explorers arrived, they went in knowing the stories, but weren't fully prepared for what they captured. Watch this.
Holy Can you move again? Can you hear us?
Dude. Alex, seriously.
We're coming towards you.
Hello?
What the Dude, somebody's screaming. Oh my Dude, shut up!
Those screams didn't sound like a trick of the wind or echoes of the building settling. They were sharp, pained, and desperate. The kind of sound you'd expect from someone trapped in pure fear. After that, the explorers didn't stick around long enough to test whether the rumors were exaggerated or not. For them, that moment was more than enough. And what's unsettling is how often visitors describe hearing similar sounds in the same cell blocks, almost as though the walls themselves are replaying the pain of the past. Some think it's residual energy, others believe the spirits of former inmates are still crying out for release. Either way, what they caught that night has people convinced the old Idaho Penitentiary isn't just haunted, it's echoing with the memories of those who never left. Now in this next clip, Ruby and her husband have always joked about having a ghost in their house, a spirit they believe stayed confined to just one of the bedrooms, but lately it's starting to look like they were wrong. One day, Ruby was home alone when this happened.
Mac, it's okay. Why are you doing this to me? It isn't me. Mac, this is happening inside you. You're letting it consume you. You don't have to. Now what?
Other times, she's noticed the sound of pacing footsteps across the hallway late at night, when both she and her husband were already in bed. At first, they thought it might be the house settling, until the steps would suddenly stop right outside their door, almost as if someone was standing there listening. She's also reported hearing faint whispers from the kitchen, and when she'd go in to check, the chairs would be pulled slightly out, like someone had been sitting there moments before. Her husband has had his own experiences too. On more than one occasion, he said he woke up to the feeling of someone sitting on the edge of their bed, only to roll over and see nothing there. One evening, while Ruby was in the shower, she heard him calling her name from the living room, only to step out and find the house completely empty, her husband still at work. So whatever they thought was harmless and contained seems to have spread its reach through the whole house. And now, with clips like this, Ruby isn't laughing anymore. In the following video, a guy shares what he's been dealing with for months now, every single night, and how it's slowly driving him nuts. Watch this.
Alright, let's investigate.
He says it's gotten to the point where he almost expects it, yet it still jolts him every time. Sometimes he forces himself to ignore it, but other times he gets up to check, because strangely enough, that's the only thing that makes it stop. The knocking has followed him through so many moments, waking him from deep sleep, interrupting his late night calls, even breaking his focus while he's working on projects. It's gotten so bad that he has to explain to people on the phone why they can hear what sounds like someone pounding at his door, even though nobody is there. One night, while he was still on his computer trying to distract himself and get some work done, this happened. Take a look.
Alright. I just want to let you guys know, like, I'm home alone. There's nobody here. Whoa, okay.
Now, he started sending these recordings to friends, hoping they'll finally believe him. Yet, even with the video evidence, some still think it's just his imagination, or some kind of trick of the pipes, or even neighbors playing around, but he insists that the sound doesn't behave like anything natural, and it's always at odd hours, always in the same pattern, and it always stops the moment he checks. So could it really be something paranormal, or is there some logical explanation he just can't see? You decide. The following video was captured by Sammy's mom on a weekend, hours after she had just finished decorating the house for the little family get-together they were hosting. Sammy wasn't back from a few errands she was sent when her mom called her on the phone saying some strange things were happening in the house. Sammy told her to record whatever it was, and this is what she sent.
Okay, I look over and I see this. Now it's slowing down. There's nobody around playing with the chords. And it's still moving. Ever so slightly.
The hallway lights were moving in a slow, deliberate rhythm, and there were no open windows, no vents, and nothing else in the room was moving. It was as if something had chosen the lights to make itself known, and this kind of isolated movement, especially electrical fixtures, can indicate the presence of an energy trying to manifest itself. By the next morning, Sammy was alone in the house, and it was her turn to experience what had now become a terrifying pattern.
So I'm here by myself, and I'm hearing like weird noises. That noise that you just heard is my dog down there. But I'm hearing like whispering and like things moving around about in that direction. I don't know. My dog's ears are up because I think he can hear it too. Okay, I have no clue what that was. Is that you making that noise? No? Okay. What? I have no clue what is going on.
It started with a soft voice, distant but steady. Then it sounded like someone was humming and whispering. The truth is, hearing voices is disturbing on its own, but when the family dog reacts and starts staring into corners with ears perked and tail down, it's never a good sign, and usually means one thing: something's really there. A few days later, it escalated.
So I decided to visit my best friend after work today, and I got here before they did. And there's literally, I walked in here and like something started knocking on the back door back there. You can hear it. Stop! Now, okay, so you might think it might be the neighbor or something, or like a dog or something at the door, but look. We're on the second floor. And there's like literally nobody. There's like nobody here. And I'm by myself.
Their first experience was with light, then voices, and now knocks. In many cases, these knocks aren't just noises, but intentional communications, a way of letting you know you're not alone. At this point, people Sammy had shared the videos with urged her to sage the home, because spirits like this tend to feed off fear and attention, and the more you acknowledge them, the stronger they get, and they were right. A few nights later, she heard a sound like someone crying inside the small storage room, but when she got closer, it stopped, and she caught this on camera. After this strange activity, a new theory began to surface. A lot of people started voicing their opinions saying maybe it wasn't just the house, but the spirit was attached to Sammy herself. She wasn't ready to believe it, but after visiting a friend's home to get a break from the chaos, something unsettling happened there too.
So, I just recorded a video in my bathroom about the situation that happened the other day about the shower curtain. And little disclaimer here before I show you that. This is the only light switch for this bathroom. Like, there's no light switch out here on the wall or over there. There's no other light switch. This is the only one for this bathroom. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay. Hey guys, back in the bathroom again. So as you saw in the video the other day, something happened with the shower curtain. So we're gonna have a look at it and see if there's anything in the shower this fine day. So we looked in here last time and there wasn't.
This was a completely different location, and at this point, Sammy wasn't only thinking about cleansing her house, because if the spirit is really attached to her, she needs to find a solution to that as well. This was certainly a case of attachment haunting, when a spirit forms a connection to a person rather than a place. Most times, it starts with environmental activity, but when the person leaves and the entity follows, it becomes something much more serious. Before leaving her friend's place, Sammy sent her footage to a ghost hunter for a full review, and he confirmed that those comments might be more than just speculation. We can only hope she gets the help she needs before the spirit makes its next move. This next clip is about a single mother named Sydney who lived with her young son in a house that is over 100 years old. From the moment they moved in, Sydney sensed something wasn't quite right, and this wasn't just creaky floors or flickering lights. There were nights when she'd walk into her son's room and find dirt and soot scattered in perfect circles on the floor. Once, she even discovered a pair of muddy handprints on the ceiling above his bed. Handprints too small for an adult, but with 6 fingers. But the most unsettling thing was that, at least twice, she walked into her son's room and found every single toy positioned upright, all facing the same direction toward the hallway, as if waiting for something. After a few days, the activity stopped and things felt normal again, so Sydney went back to taking night shifts while her sister came over to babysit. One night, her sister and her son were curled up on the couch watching SpongeBob when this happened.
SpongeBob night.
SpongeBob off.
Liam, come here. Liam, right now. What is happening? Okay, I'm calling your mom. Just stay right here.
The empty rocking chair suddenly began to swing back and forth like someone was sitting there, enjoying the show. And you know the saying, you should never leave a rocking chair empty, because doing so is an invitation spirits rarely turn down. Sydney's sister contacted her immediately, and she told her sister to grab her son and head straight to a friend's house nearby. There was no way she was letting them spend the night alone in that place. The next day was a Friday, so Sydney decided to stay with her son, and this time she set up a camera in the living room. This is what she caught. In old houses that are already layered with so much time and energy, spirits don't just exist, they compete, so throwing things could be a warning, a tantrum, a demand for space, or worse, a sign they're becoming stronger. After reviewing the footage, Sydney contacted a professional ghost hunter who arrived the next day. And what he sensed wasn't just a single entity, not even two. There were 7 distinct spirits in that house. Some restless, some angry, and some, he said, didn't even know they were dead. Cleansing a house with that much activity won't be easy. In fact, experts say that in older buildings, spirits often resist being forced out. Some return, some retaliate, and some never leave at all. We wish her luck. The following clip is about Emma, a simple lady who had been disturbed for weeks with strange noises, shadows where there shouldn't be, and a lingering sense that something was always just behind her. Coincidentally, it all seemed to start after her sister moved out of the house, leaving something behind, a Ouija board. Ever since then, Emma's home has felt off, like someone else or something else moved in. Now she's asking for help. Not just to stop the haunting, but to understand what exactly she's living with, because what she's been experiencing so far, it's not normal. One of the most chilling things Emma talks about is the mimicking activity. She says she hears her daughter calling out to her, sometimes from the bathroom, sometimes from the stairs, but when she checks, her daughter isn't even home. This is a paranormal activity often linked to malevolent entities. You see, spirits capable of copying voices often do it to draw people in, break their guard, or cause confusion and fear. One day, Emma was able to capture this on camera.
You guys, I'm freaking out. Okay, my son is gone. He's not home. He's at a party. Yeah, I know I look like shit. I don't care. I just got woken up. There's been a mimic here for a couple weeks. When my daughter's not here, I hear her say my name and she's not there. I ignore it because I know it's a mimic. I have seen it on here. My daughter's home, but my son's not home. My son is the only one that lives upstairs. The only one upstairs. All night since he's been gone, I keep hearing, like, the door close. Like, it'll just shut. But... Sorry. So, anyway. So, my son's not home, but I keep hearing the door shut. But there's nobody up there. There's nobody up there. I'm going to see if I could try to... And let me take you guys... I'll take you guys up there and show you there's nobody up there. But let's see if we can catch it. I'm so scared. Normally I don't get scared, but hearing the door close like a freaking human is up there, and I already went up there once and I checked, and nobody or nothing was up there. So I went up there and I checked all the rooms and in the attic, and there's nobody up there, but I keep hearing his bedroom door close, or like somebody's walking up there, but he's not here. I don't know what my dog's barking at. But I hope we catch it on camera because this is freaking creeping me out. I'm at the stairs right now. Somebody's walking up there. Bro, my eyes are watering. This is scaring me. Hold on. Oh my god, as soon as I stopped it, I heard it. I know you guys heard that. I hope I caught that. Did you hear it? Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm scared. Okay, I'm gonna turn. Look, nobody's up here. Oh my god. Look at his door is closed. Oh my god. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. I gotta tell my daughter, boo-boo. Oh my god. There's water in my eyes. Oh my god. Why does it sound like, and I recorded it. It sounds like somebody's in your brother's room. And I went up there to show that the door was closed. Tell me why his door opened when I went up there. I swear. I ran down here by myself. I'm recording it. Come up there with me to show them nobody's here. Oh my god. That made my eyes water, you guys. I showed it on camera. My son is not home. I'm not going to stop the recording just so I can show you guys. That's scary. I know, I ran down here. I ran down here so fast. Okay. Oh my god, that scared me. And it sounds like somebody's walking around up there, and I got it on recording. Yes, hold on. Look at his door's moving. Okay, we're gonna go up there and I'm gonna show you guys nobody is in his room. He is not here. Turn your flashlight on. Oh my god. Hurry up and come up here so you can point it to show nobody's in the room. Look. Look. Nobody's in here. Nobody. Look, you guys literally. You seen that in real time with me. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm freaking out. Oh no. I told you guys. And there's been that mimic. And my daughter has heard it when I'm not here. It says my name, or it says her name in my voice when I'm not here. And it says my name in her voice when I'm not here. And or when she's not here. And now that's happening. Look at my dog. Oh fuck no, fuck no. Fuck, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not coming under the side of the house no more. Oh my god.
In the paranormal world, doors don't just shut for no reason because spirits are believed to manipulate energy, using it to isolate or intimidate. This was especially terrifying for Emma because there were no windows open, no fans, no one else in the room, and the footsteps only made things worse. Emma also noticed her dog was always staring at the attic door every single night, so she took a phone and went there.
Okay, I gotta show you guys this too. So that video of I'm telling you my house is haunted. Look, up here, there's the attic. I hear noises up there in my room, and so does my dog. Look, there's my dog. Okay, hold on. He's been doing this crazy thing lately. Look. Like he hears something up there. Come on, you guys. Like, there's nothing in my attic. I've shown you guys this in videos in the past. he's going crazy. Like, look, he even broke my TV recently because he fell onto it. But it's like he's hearing stuff in the attic, and he's like whining at it and barking, and he's jumping up at my light to get to whatever's in the freaking attic. He broke this piece off. So this piece was part of that. And because he's been hearing whatever he's been hearing the past like week or two in the attic, he's going crazy and jumping up at it. He ended up pulling this down, but that's what he keeps doing. I'm so glad I caught it on camera. I'm so glad. Like, this, like, I just got home. I've been at my daughter's the past couple days because of it. But like, look at him. He's going crazy over whatever he is hearing up there. Okay, I'm gonna take you up there and show you. There's nothing and nobody in there. So why is my dog freaking out? All of this stuff happening is freaking me out. Hold on. All right, so let me show you guys. So this is the stairs, right? It leads down the stairs. Okay, that is our spare room. That's our attic. This is my son's room that was happening in when he wasn't in there. But now that he's home, it's happening in the attic. I'm not gonna stop it, but I'm gonna show you guys. Watch. That's how we keep the attic closed. Scared. All right. I have the chills. I don't know if you can see, but I have the chills so bad. I hate coming up here. This is my attic. Okay. Over there, that is my bedroom. That long heater thing, that's the heater that divides my bedroom and the dining room. That's where my dog is hearing something. And when he hears it, he's jumping up and going crazy, and it sounds like footprints, just like what was in my son's room the other day. It sounds like there's someone up here like walking around, because you can hear like, see on the board. And then my dog will hear it, and my dog will go crazy. As you can see, it just happened, and my dog was just going crazy. I'm closing that. I do not like being in here ever since this has been happening. So, as I said, and then that's the spare room. The other day, that door opened, and this door is not easy to open. Like, it has a lock and everything. And the only thing in here is our dragon's tank and a bed. The paint is messed up. I know my niece lived in here. She started repainting it, and then they moved out, and now that's what it looks like. But so that's all that's up here. And all these doors are always closed. I told my son, I showed him the video of what was going on in his room the other night, and he even said that his door sometimes would just open out of nowhere, and he was wondering why. And he has been hearing things too, which I never knew because he never said anything to me until recently. So we're all hearing this at the house. I need to cleanse this house or something, because I cannot be here much longer with this. Neither can my kids. Like, we're getting so scared of being here.
Now it's one thing to hear things, it's another thing when your kids start hearing the same voice calling them from different corners of the house. It got worse when her son showed her marks on his back with no idea how those marks got there. She also continued dealing with doors closing upstairs when no one's up there and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. Even when she's alone, at this point, Emma didn't feel safe anymore. Not for her, not for her kids, not even for her dog. She reached out to their family priest, and thankfully, she now has a date set for a full spiritual cleansing. Based on the voice mimicry, the door movement, the scary marks, and the dog's constant reaction to a specific spot in the house, I strongly suspect this is more than just a spirit. It's a demon. Kelsey Davis always thought being a mom meant dealing with tantrums, toys scattered across the floor, and the occasional sleepless night, but never in her wildest dreams did she imagine that bedtime would become the most terrifying part of her day. It started when her young son began having full conversations with no one there, pausing like he was listening to someone speak back. She brushed it off at first as just an imaginary friend, but something about the way he responded didn't sit right with her. One night, she decided to record him.
Who are you saying goodnight to?
Him. Good night.
Who?
Him. Good night.
Jagger, there's no one up there.
Him up there.
Show me.
Him up there. Him up there.
Jagger, there's no one up there. He's been talking to that vent and then he was blowing it kisses. And I'm creeped out now. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. I'm so creeped out right now.
Her son stood in his room, looked toward the ceiling, and calmly said goodnight to an empty corner. Kelsey didn't see anything unusual, but the room didn't feel right, so she shared the footage with a group of ghost hunters to see if they could make sense of it. For now, the situation remains unresolved, and while the activity hasn't stopped, she's hoping the team steps in soon to help figure out what is sharing the room with her son. Jake never believed in ghosts, not as a kid, not as a teen, and not even after his uncle passed away, leaving behind his old garage where he spent most of his time fixing things. The space had been untouched for years, his tools still on the bench, his jacket still on the hook, like he'd be back any minute. Then one night, something strange happened. While Jake was scrolling through his phone, he heard the door slowly open on its own, and while he brushed it off at first, the light inside turned on by itself. But the switch was an old manual one, so it made no sense that it would come on by itself. He checked the footage again and again, searching for some explanation, convinced he'd missed something, but the video showed no movement until he turned the volume up and heard uneven footsteps coming from inside the garage. This only convinced him the situation was far from ordinary, and that sometimes the dead don't rest quietly, they just keep doing what they always did, waiting for someone to notice. This next clip comes from a creator named Chai, someone known for her hilarious takes on everyday life, relatable skits, and the kind of content that makes you laugh even on the toughest days. But recently, she posted something that felt completely different, something personal, unsettling, and impossible to explain.
Okay, who is it?
Daddy. Daddy's right there.
Is it your daddy?
No, it's your daddy.
Is where?
Daddy's right there.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, show me.
See?
Oh.
Your daddy's missing you.
My daddy's missing me?
That's your dad.
Let's go get him. Where'd he go?
In you.
Okay, show me.
Chai's 2-year-old daughter stands quietly in the hallway, calmly repeating the words, "Dad is missing you." What makes this feel truly strange is that Chai's father passed away in 2002. Her daughter had never heard stories about him, never seen a photo, and yet she spoke as if she'd known him all her life. Now, Chai finds herself caught between believing this was just a coincidence or something else entirely, something trying to lure her into that room. She hasn't stepped inside for months, and it's hard to blame her because anyone in her position would be left wondering what might happen if they walked into that room. Few days into the new year, Alex, who worked in an ancient building, got stuck working a late shift alone. When he was about to leave and locking up, something terrifying happened. Have a look.
What was that? Hey, look. Yeah. Did you hear that?
He heard a voice that was like someone calling out for help. Alex knew he was the only one left in the building. He still turned to look, more out of instinct than reason, but the hallway was empty. The next day, unsure of what to make of it, he decided to look into the building's history, just to see if there was anything that might explain what he'd heard. But what he found was far more disturbing than he could have imagined. Years ago, a janitor had been working that same hallway when a maintenance door came loose and fell, trapping him behind it. And though he called out again and again, his voice echoing through the corridors, no one heard him in time. After learning that, Alex was convinced the voice he heard wasn't just in his head, it was the echo of a spirit still waiting to be heard. Since then, he's made sure he's never the last one to leave. Cameras don't lie, they catch what we miss. Moments we're too distracted to notice, and sometimes signs that something paranormal might still be out there. Melissa, a single mom living in Asheville, North Carolina, had been noticing something strange outside her home for months. Like someone walking past at odd hours, always just out of view. Hoping to ease her mind, she installed a small security camera above the front door, just to see if anything was really there. One evening, after returning home from dinner with her daughter Ava, they got a notification that the camera had picked up a strange movement, and what they saw caught them completely off guard.
Oh shit, Jose. Here he is.
A man was walking slowly along the sidewalk in front of their house, but just as he reached a certain spot, he vanished. They rushed outside, hoping to find footprints or some sign of where he'd gone, but there was nothing, not even a single sign that anyone had been there at all. When they shared what happened with their neighbors, they learned they weren't the only ones who'd seen something strange. One neighbor even mentioned that the exact spot where the man disappeared used to be an old bus stop, and that back in 1989, a terrible accident had taken place there. Melissa didn't need convincing anymore. She already knew what this was, and that night she lit a candle and placed it on the windowsill, and from that moment on, they never saw the man again. This was definitely a paranormal activity, and whatever was lurking around their street just needed help getting home. Derek is the kind of man who appreciates quiet moments like when the kids have gone to bed and the only sounds left are the soft breathing of his wife beside him. But one night, after finishing an episode of American Dad and switching off the television, he heard something. Watch this moment and listen closely. A dragging noise, like something heavy had been pulled across the floor, came from the dining room. But their dining set was the kind that doesn't move unless someone makes it move. So Derek was trying to understand how something so heavy could have shifted so loudly without a single person out of bed. He didn't check right away because the noise reminded him of something that had happened years ago when every cabinet in the kitchen slammed shut at the same time in the middle of the night. He and his wife rushed into the kitchen expecting a mess, but everything was in place. No broken plates, no open doors, just silence. Within a few few days, Derek reached out to a small paranormal team that had investigated homes in the area before, and after visiting the house, they confirmed what he feared most. The activity wasn't random, it was deliberate, and whatever it wasn't just passing through, it was claiming space. I hope things get better after this intervention, but with how active the house has been, Derek's not so sure. For now, all he can do is wait, and hope the next sound isn't closer than the last. The following video is about a man named Tyler who had always imagined that moving off-grid would bring peace. The kind of peace that comes from stepping away from city noise, endless traffic, crowded neighbors, and all the clutter and chaos of modern life. For a while, it did. His home sat alone on a hilltop, surrounded by trees, with no neighbors for miles. But one night, at 3:18 a.m., Tyler's phone buzzed with a single ring notification from the camera pointed toward the tree line, and although he didn't check it right away, convincing himself it was probably nothing, the next morning he opened the app, and this is what he saw. A figure moved across the edge of the frame, dressed in white, gliding forward with a strange, rigid stillness, its clothes untouched by the wind, its steps too smooth, too controlled, like it wasn't walking at all, but floating, unaware or maybe uninterested, that a camera was watching, and just as it appeared, it vanished into the trees. Tyler rushed outside, checking every inch of the fence line for footprints or broken branches, or any sign that someone had been there, but there was nothing. No trail, no marks. And ever since that night, he hasn't slept quite the same. I guess living off-grid keeps people out, but it doesn't promise you'll be alone. It just strips away the noise, the distractions, the excuses, and leaves you alone with what's really there. Some fears don't need a reason. They live quietly in the backs of our minds, and for Jordan, basements had always stirred something he couldn't explain. A quiet unease that never really left, no matter how often he tried to dismiss it. So when his grandparents invited him to visit their old farmhouse tucked deep in the back roads of Ohio and offered him the basement guest room, he smiled and agreed, even though something in him said no. The first night felt normal, until just after 2 a.m., when a strange vibration rolled through the floor, followed by a sound he couldn't place. He sat up, reached for his phone, and started recording to be sure he wasn't making it up. The sound was like a broken trumpet, and it was too close to ignore. The next morning, he uploaded the clip, hoping for answers, but instead, people pointed out something he hadn't noticed at all. In the background, just behind the basement window, was a pale face that was watching. Jordan never got a clear answer about what he saw that night, but ever since, he keeps the basement light on, just in case. But this might not be the solution, because some fears don't go away, especially once they finally have a face. In the following video, a guy is making a quick video to show his sister's fiance just how creepy the crematorium where he works can get after hours. What starts as a casual walkthrough quickly turns into something far more disturbing. Watch this.
Lights, they turn off automatically at a certain hour. And I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna walk you through now. I have a friend that works that he would see and hear things coming from these furnaces when they're burning the bodies. So when I'm walking through here, they usually put the urns out to send to the families. So when I'm walking here at night, I walk right by these urns that they put on these tables here. And then I come down freaking out. This is crazy.
Now, crematoriums already carry a heavy atmosphere. The energy there is said to linger, trapped between the living and the dead. Some even believe places like this can absorb emotions, grief, pain, fear, and release them in strange ways. Others think the constant contact with the deceased could make it easier for spirits to attach themselves to the living, especially workers who spend long nights alone. Now, back to the guy in this video. He's convinced there's a ghost haunting this crematorium, and until someone gives him a better explanation for what he saw, he's not budging from that theory. So what do you think? Paranormal encounter, or something else? You decide. Now, this next video was captured at around 3:15 in the morning, and after what happened, there was no way the guy could go back to sleep. Watch this.
Estaba por entrar a mi casa, son 3:15 de la mañana, y la luz empieza a ser así, no sé. Sinceramente siento que hay alguien acá. No sé por qué lo presiento. Si te querés mostrar, mostrate ahora. Hay alguien sentado ahí. Hay alguien sentado. Mostrate.
Only people who've woken up to the sound of something unexplainable can truly relate to the kind of terror this brings. That feeling of being watched, of knowing you're not alone. And for this guy, it's not a one-time event. Strange things keep happening in his home, often at the same exact hour, like something's deliberately choosing that time to make itself known. But many who followed his story were relieved to find out it wasn't the teddy this time. The same teddy that's moved on its own in several of his earlier videos. But that only made people wonder, what if it was never the teddy? What if whatever's in his home simply uses different objects to get his attention? or worse, to toy with him. Some say he's dealing with a spirit that feeds off fear, while others think something darker might be attached to the house itself. Until he shares another update, what's really tormenting him remains a mystery. In the following clip, a woman named Jess shares a chilling story, one that's been haunting her for over a decade. Jess lost a close friend named Derek 13 years ago, and ever since then, he's never really left. No matter where she moves, strange things follow. Lights flickering, footsteps in empty rooms, objects shifting on their own. And in her new home, one she moved into just a few months ago, it seems Derek has somehow found her again. Watch this.
Mary, what? He's doing it again. He's doing it again. Mary, he's doing it again. Derek! Hey, Derek! I know you're dude. Derek! Derek! I'm talking to you, man. Stop f***ing me, dude. Calm down, Jessica. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down. It's just Derek. It's just Derek. Hey, Derek. Hey, Derek. What you doing, buddy? I miss you. Derek. What are you doing, buddy? You know I love you. You know I love you. Hey, Derek. Come on, you dumb... What the f...
Now, a lot of people believe Jess might be unknowingly holding on to something that once belonged to Derek, something personal that's keeping his spirit tethered to her. Others think Derek could be trying to communicate, perhaps trying to deliver a message she's missed for over 13 years, something that, once understood, might finally allow him to move on. But not everyone agrees. Some say she's making a dangerous mistake, that what she's experiencing isn't Derek at all, but something pretending to be him, using her grief to gain her trust. A few even suggested she check her attic, where energies tend to gather in old houses, and when she finally did, this is what she found.
Y'all wanted me to come up to the attic, okay? This is the wall that y'all saw some shit on. And these are the stairs. Like, my husband has all his clothes, of course. But if you look up there, there's no windows. I'm not going all the way up there because it scares the shit out of me. There's no windows. There's a sofa, some mirrors, a chair, his clothes, but there's no windows up here, okay? There's nothing up here that would have done anything. See? No window. No window. No windows. Nothing. Absolutely nothing up here. Other than like his toolboxes and a chair. I'm not going up here because it's too scary for me. But there are some mirrors, which is weird for an attic. a fan. See, there's no windows. This is my attic. There's nothing up here that could have done that shit. Alright, I'm getting the out of here because it feels weird.
So, is Jess truly being visited by the spirit of her old friend, or something else wearing his face to keep her believing? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Now, in this next clip, we're looking at footage captured inside a daycare in East Tennessee, one that used to be an old church before it was converted. Watch this.
The video I'm about to show you is very disturbing. I'm just going to let it play for you, and then I'll give you the background.
See? Lights go off. Now watch. You're going to see.
What you just saw was security footage that was sent to me by a woman who worked at a daycare in East Tennessee, Appalachia region. This daycare is actually a very old church that was turned into like a private daycare school. She said that events leading up to this, she was kind of having some weird experiences where she would be in her office after hours and would hear like people walking down the stairs, and then she would go check the stairwell and nobody would be there, or she would hear noises coming from classrooms and open up the door and see nothing. She said she would be the only one on the property at this time because she was in charge of like opening the daycare center, and then she would often stay after hours. So nobody was in the building when she was hearing these noises. On this particular day, she was opening the daycare. She went in that door that you saw at the end of the hall and noticed there was an iPad laying on the ground. This was really odd to her because these iPads are put into this like cabinet area that are hooked on like chargers. And she said they're very secure and they're like sitting up on charging decks, if that makes sense. She thought maybe an intruder came in or something, so she immediately notified the security officer who came and checked the camera footage. And that is the camera footage that you saw. Literally, the way that iPad just flings out of that cabinet is giving me chills right now. In the beginning, I feel like I also saw some kind of an orb object, but I've watched this video so many times and I feel like it's just unexplainable. Tell me what you saw in the video, if you saw the orbs like I did, or if you noticed anything else that's odd, and leave in the comments if you have any weird experiences like this.
The way that iPad flew across the room is hard to wrap your head around. Now here's a bit of context. The woman who shared this video works at the daycare and said there had been a series of strange occurrences long before this day. She'd often stay late in her office and hear what sounded like footsteps coming down the old wooden stairs, only to find no one there. Other times, faint noises would come from the classrooms after hours, toys rattling, drawers opening, whispers she couldn't quite make out. On the morning this footage was recorded, she arrived early and found one of the iPads lying on the floor. Now, she's the one who usually opens the daycare, so at that time, the building should have been completely empty, the iPads locked away in a cabinet as usual. Thinking it might have been a break-in, she called security. Omen people believe it's residual energy from when the building was still a church, that maybe the spirits of those who once gathered there never really left. Others think the conversion of the sacred space might have disturbed something that didn't want to be moved, but what do you think really happened inside that old daycare? In this next clip, a woman was walking down a quiet street late at night when her camera picked up something she couldn't explain. Watch.
Or the sub for you is going to be more. Everything's going up, but our wages aren't going up. Because I'm still seeing wages that are fucking pitiful on Indeed. Oh yay, I can make the same amount of money I made when I was out of high school, you know? Looks like there was a figure just standing right there. That's so crazy. I think it was my own shadow. That happens way too often.
At first glance, it looks like nothing more than a shadow, but take a closer look. The outline, the faint movement, and those glowing eyes staring straight at her. Some viewers think she may have caught a shadow figure. a manifestation often linked to dark energy or spiritual unrest. Others believe it's something far more physical, a creature that thrives in the dark, staying just beyond our understanding. There could be many other explanations for what she saw, like a trick of the light, an animal, or maybe something else entirely. But the idea that it could be something aware of her presence is what makes this clip so unsettling. Because if figures like this can move freely among us, unnoticed and unbothered, it makes you wonder what else is out there when the streets go quiet. So, what do you think she captured that night? And do you believe that some things walk among us? Some seen and others we were never meant to see? Now, in this next clip, a woman named Keys has been dealing with strange activity in her home, the kind that keeps her up at night. But this time, she finally managed to catch something on camera. Watch this.
What is happening right now? First the door was moving, then I heard like talking, and then I keep seeing shadows. And for anyone telling me that I should go out there, yeah, why don't you go out there, please? Oh, it just opened and shut right in front of me. Oh man, I wish I could. Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! I'm freaking out. And before anyone comes at me, it's freaking the middle of October in Pennsylvania. It's freezing out, so I have no windows open. I have one fan that circulates throughout the whole room, and that door has never done that. Like, it's moved on its own, but never just like slammed shut like that. I can't believe I just caught that on camera. What the actual believe I just caught that. And of course I'm alone. Yay me. Fun times.
Whatever that was, it's not the first time she's seen it. Keys says things like this have been happening for months. Objects moving on their own, lights flickering even when the power's stable, and that unsettling feeling that someone's standing right behind her when no one is there. She's tried everything from cleansing rituals to changing rooms, but nothing seems to stop it. And now, after this footage, she's starting to wonder if whatever's haunting her house might be getting stronger. If you've ever experienced something similar, drop your thoughts below. What did you do to make it stop? Because at this point, Keys is running out of ideas and courage. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian visits one of Nebraska's most haunted locations, the Argo Hotel. This place has a long and unsettling history. Years ago, when it was still a sanatorium, a woman named Alice reportedly died during childbirth in the basement. Since then, people say her spirit never left. They hear her crying softly in the hallways at night, sometimes calling for her baby. But here's the disturbing part. During renovations, workers found skeletal remains of an infant sealed inside one of the walls. Many believe it was Alice's child, and she's not the only one said to haunt this place. Guests staying in room 1 often complain about their blankets being tugged off in the middle of the night, or waking up to the sound of faint breathing right beside them. On November 28, 2024, Ian decided to spend the night alone inside the Argo Hotel, hoping to capture proof of what's really happening here. Watch.
That sounded like a lady's voice right there. I swear to God, I just heard that right behind me. Alice, is that you? She's that ghostly woman that they see wandering around. Could you say something again? I don't know if I'm just losing it, but I swear to God I heard that. I'm not hearing anything else. It's dead quiet. Alice, was that you I just heard? Whoa. There's something standing right over there. It was right behind that couch. There was something literally standing in that photo. It was like a mist or something. But I'm not seeing it anymore. It's completely gone.
So was that Alice still wandering these halls, or something else entirely? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video was captured by Liv one quiet Saturday evening while she was home alone with her cat. For weeks now, at exactly 7:33 p.m., she would hear scratching sounds. Not the usual kind you dismiss as pipes or rodents, but deep, deliberate scraping, as if something was trying to claw its way through the walls. On some nights, the doorknobs would rattle, lights would flicker in quick bursts, and the cat would stare into corners as if it's following something invisible. One evening, Liv finally set up her phone to record, and this is what she caught. If you turn your volume up and listen carefully, you'll hear the chilling sound of scratches coming from inside the walls. Then, suddenly, objects begin to fall from shelves like a force was shaking the place from the inside out. Now, here's where it gets weird. People are asking why the cat wasn't reacting, and honestly, it's a fair question. But sometimes animals, especially cats, can grow desensitized to long-term spiritual presences, especially if they've been exposed repeatedly. Some experts even believe the spirit may have attached itself to the cat, which could explain its eerie calmness. Liv isn't taking any more chances, so she's made an appointment to have the house cleansed, and because the activity keeps escalating, she has also contacted a private investigator to dig into the house's history. The following clips were recorded by Linda, who has been experiencing strange and unexplained activity in her home. And the strange part? It only ever happens when she's completely alone. For weeks, she brushed it off as her imagination, until the sounds became impossible to ignore, and it kept happening week after week. She decided to set up a camera, and this is what she captured. You can hear heavy footsteps running up and down the stairs like someone's pacing in a hurry, but she is completely alone, and this strange sound usually lasts for about 20 minutes, and then everything goes still. This disturbing activity continued for weeks, growing worse with time, and at one point, it was not just one staircase, it was every staircase in the house, like the entity had grown bolder or multiplied.
You guys, I'm hearing it again, but from downstairs this time. Nope.
Some skeptics tried to discredit her claim, saying the stairs weren't fully shown in the clips. So, the next time it happened, Linda made sure to record the entire stairs.
I keep hearing somebody walk up and down my stairs, but there is obviously nobody there. There's nothing there. And it keeps coming up and down, up and down.
Now here's what makes this truly terrifying. Hearing running footsteps with no visible source is often linked to residual hauntings. It's a replay of something traumatic, usually tied to moments of panic, flight, or even death. It's like the spirit is stuck, reliving its final moments again and again. And now, Linda has admitted that she no longer feels safe staying in the house alone, so she's sent her footage to a ghost hunter, and an investigation is already underway. We wish her luck.